So the first thing we're going to do, now that we have the motherboard out, is we are going to install the CPU. And we have the Ryzen 5 7600 CPU. Let's open this up.
Let's kick things off then by discussing everything gaming laptop. And this is the Lenovo Stream 5. This was one that was actually provided by Lenovo for a sponsored video a couple of weeks ago, but this is what I personally use. I really like this because it's a nice sort of sturdy frame, it's got a high refresh rate, 1440p screen, and then it does have that RTX 4060. But obviously there are loads of different gaming laptops with loads of different specifications, but crucially they all share the same advantages and disadvantages really versus the desktop. And obviously the main advantage of going for something like this is portability. I mean, this actually isn't a particularly big desktop. This is one of the smaller cases you can get in one of the smaller systems, but you're going to have to lug a monitor around with you. There's no battery. This is a proper portable machine, and you can take this with you anywhere.
I noticed Ryzen, they got away from that little gold arrow, and they made it keyed, so you can't really put this in the incorrect way anymore.
This is always going to be better for that. The other thing about gaming laptops that's pretty cool these days is just the raw performance of these, because again, they've come on leaps and bounds versus the laptops of the previous generation and the generation before that. I mean, I don't think the performance level is going to blow you away in terms of ray tracing quality unless you buy the very best, but still, the fact that you can do it on a portable machine is still very impressive. Not only that, but I'd also argue you're almost less likely to see CPU bottlenecking these days on laptops, not because it's not going to happen, but because the CPUs themselves are more powerful, but then also because you can get screens like this that are higher resolution. So this one is actually 2560 by 1600 because it's a 16 by 10 display. That means if you do run into this situation, well, you can just crank up the resolution and get better visuals and not have to worry about your CPU holding it back. This is still going to happen in a fair few games. Certainly on some low-end laptops, maybe slightly misconfigured, like a higher-end CPU and a
So we got that squared away. So now let's go ahead and put our storage in. For storage, we're gonna go with the 1 terabyte WD Blue or Western Digital Blue. So first let's go ahead and take off the heat sink.
I mean, it's pretty fantastic when you look at it, really. But 99% of my personal gaming is done on a desktop, and I would strongly advise that if you're watching this video, you don't need portability, you consider getting a desktop for a number of reasons.
Smaller screwdriver.
This one is actually priced. I mean, this costs about £900 at the time of filming-ish to build, whereas this exact would be about £1,400.
Put a little infinite.
It's a very good sale at the moment on Best Buy. You can get the Ryzen version of this. But obviously, the other thing really is it's just all about flexibility. I mean, you might be watching this and you think, I really don't like the look of this. I would get a completely different case. Well, guess what? You can do that. It's so customizable that you can put whatever you want in it. And then on that note, you can also upgrade it, because obviously while you can add new SSDs and RAM to this, it's still going to be quite limiting in terms of like 5 years time.
Alright, so let's take out the heat sink.
Like a decade or so, and then just keep swapping out the CPU until the motherboard won't accept a new one, and obviously graphics pretty much the same. You'll be able to upgrade this for the next 5
Don't forget to take this off when you put it back on for that heat sink.
Old one, swap it out, upgrade it, and then you're getting a cheaper upgrade to get more performance if you say grab the new gaming monitor.
So let's go ahead and put the storage in.
Laptop. It's a complete one-box solution. You don't need to have any knowledge. You literally just take it out of the box.
We should go back to calling storage ROM, just to be facetious. Now let's install the ROM.
So I think the main thing to know is that regardless of what you do go for a laptop or you do go for the desktop, please make sure you brush up on your PC components so you know exactly what you're buying and how many FPS it's going to give you in your chosen game.
Alright, comes like that.
If you want to learn all about it from one of my videos. But anyway, enough talk. You probably know all of this already. So let's jump into the bit that actually matters, the gaming performance. And this means we will need a monitor, which is of course extra cost if you do go for a desktop. For the laptop, it's all baked in. Right.
So we're going to take this, and it's keyed right there when you put this in.
A baked in benchmark, but I just want to illustrate, here we have the exact same game running on our laptop, versus our desktop. So let's have a look then to see if we can see any core differences between the two. Again, this is running at 1440p, exact same settings across the board. And our utilization
Make sure I'm putting this in the right way.
very similar. It might be slightly higher on that GPU on the laptop, but
there we go. Just let it slide in.
There's quite a lot of
Alright, now once it slides in,
it does look as if our desktop is actually winning in terms of FPS.
you go ahead and take this heatsink off.
And it does indeed appear as if the desktop has been victorious. 80 frames a second versus 70. So yeah, that's a bit over 10% actually, isn't it? I will say that actually you are likely to get a slightly better result.
And then you just put that back down there.
And I noticed that the frame rate does drop a little bit more on the laptop than it does on the desktop, but this is a completely fair test. We're using NVIDIA Shadow Play for both. So let's see if we get a slightly different result by changing the DLSS from balanced to quality, changing the resolution to 1080p.
Alright.
All importantly, removing
Then you just screw it back in.
While that is running, by the way, I do also want to draw your attention to one of the main differences really between desktop and laptop, and that is the acoustics when you're actually running games in them. So I'll just pop this one down for a second and then listen to this. Basically no noise, the 4060 on the desktop, really power efficient, loads of fans, loads of thermal dissipation, great. Whereas this,
Screw that down.
very good gaming laptop in terms of acoustics, but there's no contest. This is way louder.
And after that, you go ahead and you put that back screw in.
Numbers are in 110 over on the desktop, 98 on the laptop. So again, it's pretty similar really, about 10% extra performance over on the desktop whilst making a lot less noise. It does seem that we're pretty evenly matched though. I mean, 96% GPU bound, so only 4% of the time are you seeing problems from the CPU here, whereas over on this system it is 2%. But of course you can upgrade the CPU on this very easily if you wanted to get more performance, whereas with the laptop, not so much. Oh, well, you should, but here's something you might be playing instead.
There you go.
How about some stuff?
Alright, so we got the heatsink and the storage installed.
You can't do a complete apples to apples comparison, but this is pretty much
Now,
what we can do.
we're gonna go ahead and install the RAM. And we have some DDR5 RAM Elite. We're gonna go ahead and install this. I like that M.2 Wi-Fi right there. That's pretty cool. Hyper M.2. Heat sinks. And I like the pre-installed shield right here as well. I'm just looking at these pins, making sure I got all the pins I need. Got your CPU power, got your motherboard power, then you got your CPU power up at the top, so that's gonna be cool. But anyhow, let's go ahead and put these this RAM in.
Than the desktop, despite the frame rate not being drastically different. That's fascinating actually. We're getting about 45 milliseconds of latency to around about 56 milliseconds of latency on the laptop. I also want to do a quick test of the most demanding game that we have in at the moment, which is Alan Wake 2. The game looks good. This is running with DLSS set to balance. You can turn this up a little bit if you wanted to, but as we're currently getting around about 60 FPS, this is quite a
Alright.
Swapping over to our desktop 4060 meanwhile, and I
This is the RAM right here.
These numbers, but you will see we're once again getting roughly about 10 FPS more, which is kind of funny really when you think about it. But clearly this is quite consistent on the sort of AAA games that we've been testing that have been running.
There's RAM in there.
70 frames a second, so I guess it's not
Alright, let's see.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have this extra level of performance. Well then everybody, certainly some very interesting numbers there. I mean, for me, I was absolutely fascinated with the fact that these two were not only so close, but they could actually run Returnal on this with ray tracing at good frame rates without the whole thing sort of toppling over. I mean, yes, Alan Wake
Got one RAM stick.
So much, but then again, path tracing.
Put this over here. I'll get the other one out. They got it in there secured.
I'm impressed that both of these two are so close together, and this does sort of
Alright.
the fact that if you do need portability,
And the key with RAM is you want to make sure that that key goes in the exact spot right here. So you go ahead and you pop these open.
If you are going for a portable machine, you're going to accept that there will be a bit of a compromise, and I like to think that
I think you only got to open up one.
In that you're going to get a
Alright.
but it does.
And then let's go ahead and get this in there.
I don't want it to specifically be about this. There are loads of good
Make
laptops
sure
out there,
that
but likewise there
it's
are
in the
loads
correct
of
spot.
If you don't
For this DDR5, this is the first time I ever worked with DDR5.
If you don't need it, please go for a gaming desktop, because for the same sort of money you could buy a full setup, larger screen, maybe even a PSN monitor, upgrade the GPU, the CPU, so many different things you can do for a very similar price point, and you will be getting a better overall experience. I mean, yes, it's not as portable, but
let's
you
see.
could go for like an iCase rig. If
Do I need to open this up?
if you do need a screen,
Should be just as easy as that.
be considering this in the first place. So if you are
Open it up, it's not supposed
and
to.
you're going to use this
Let's see, let's get this in there.
then please look at a gaming desktop, because they are better. But as I say, it is really nice to see that these two are actually a little bit closer than I thought they were. Let me know your thoughts on this though. Do you agree with me that the desktop is clearly better, or they're
Okay. It fit, it's just, it was tough. I had to turn it around this way and basically put the RAM stick in like this. I went to the latch that doesn't click back first, and then I put it in the other side. Then I just kind of shimmied it down.
Rumor has been spreading through the internet lately. Let's start by talking about PS5 Pro. Now this is something that we've covered ad nauseum at this point. The main
You literally have to shimmy it down at the same time. And then once it gets down there, then you just gotta push. And then it clicks in a little bit more.
Is it feels very similar to what the PS4, PS4 Pro. Shock on surprise. They did it.
There we go. And we are in there. There we go. And you want to do it until you hear that click, because if you don't hear that click, then you can get a RAM error. Alright. So we got both of the RAMs in. I think I'm going to come back one day and I'm going to go ahead and put like some covers over these RAM sticks, because they look a little basic. This is a DDR5. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and put the cooler in here. Now for this we're going to be using the stealth cooler that comes with this particular Ryzen 5 7000 series.
Setup, but for better ray tracing support and for overall performance, it seems like they're going to be mixing and matching some other stuff, and this also will likely be taking advantage of.
Let's take this out, move this stuff out the way.
The PS4 Pro, and a lot of games at 1440p, and they kind of push checkerboard rendering upscale to 4K. The specs that we got leaked, I think, are.
Alright, this is the stealth cooler. So let's go ahead and unbox this.
This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Funny thing is, I think this is the first time I've ever used like the stealth cooler that comes with this unit. It comes with Ryzen. And eventually I'll come back and I'll go ahead and use the replace it with more of a fancier looking cooler. Now just looking at it, if you notice, you already have the thermal paste in there, so I don't have to put thermal paste on there. Number one. Number two, I got 4 screws. I'm gonna put this back in here for a second. I'm gonna put this to the side. You notice right here, there aren't any screws for that to come in place. That's because they already pre-installed these latches right here. This would be if you were trying to put like a custom cooler in there or something like that, one of those big boy coolers. But we're not going to use that, so I'm going to go ahead and take these out and use them for a future build.
I could not disagree more. I don't know what the hell you're smoking. The amount of games on PS5 and Xbox Series X and even Series S
to support 30 FPS, 60 FPS, and also if you have to do like 120.
But like a lot of people want the higher fidelity because it's what they can see. They want the pretty mode.
Right, so you can just turn it on to that one. You can turn it on to
and
performance.
then a lot of people have been playing at like 30 FPS. What I'm arguing is that people want the pretty.
See, those are the screws I'm gonna be screwing into.
Sold for this next.
Just in case you don't see them. See those screws at the bottom? I'm gonna do the same thing with the top.
Have been running at like 30, 35 FPS.
That's not true. Almost every game these days has at least a 60 FPS mode. I would say the vast majority of PS5 and Series X games, the difference between a 30 and 60 FPS mode, like technically, yeah, the 30 FPS mode might have a little bit of extra ray tracing or something, but like, yeah, usually the difference in fidelity is so minimal compared to the massive difference in response time and fluidity when it comes to running at that higher frame rate.
The reason I think people are going to be disappointed is because people have this like narrative.
And then I'm gonna take this
We see this in comment that the PS5
off.
Pro is going to solve.
There we go. Now I have all 4 screws available. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and
PS5 Pro in October of 2024.
take this stealth cooler out. Now the key with the stealth cooler is you want to make sure that this cable right here is able to make it up here to the CPU cooler fan connection. So
Here's the difference, right? Upscale used to be a bad word. With modern,
let's see.
DLSS, XeSS, and even FSR is getting there. You're not.
If you have it to where AMD is right here, you can do it right there. Or you could actually go up and down like this.
I'm not saying that at all. People think that the PS5 Pro is going to be this massive jump.
It won't.
It won't.
Let me see, and then you can wrap that around. Oh, but it won't make it. So you know what I'm gonna do?
What you should expect is better rate.
I'm gonna go like this. This way I can hit all the screws, and then I don't have too much of this lagging around and going there. So let's do that.
Much like we got with the PS4 to PS4 Pro, a substantial step forward. GTA 6 will look great running with full range.
All right.
Everything like that. That's one side.
I have it right on top of the CPU.
Seems like it's in developers' hands now.
Okay.
The size being
So now let's go ahead and let's screw these in. I'm gonna stand up for this because you gotta screw it in like a crossway fashion.
Well, it looks like
So let's
the current
do this one.
is that it will be about $100 upcharge. So you'll be looking at $500 for PS5 and $60.
Then after that, you're gonna cross
This is where I'm going to disagree with you.
here.
And I'm going to split the difference with you. I think you're
Then I'm
looking
gonna
at this
screw right
with
here.
perfect logic from 5 years ago.
That's not actually bad.
What I think it's going to be is more of like, again, like kind of.
And then I'm gonna screw up here.
Uh,
This way,
and then with the
everything screws like it's supposed to. And you can screw this as tight as you want. You can't over screw it because once it's as tight as it's gonna get, it's just gonna stop. There will be no more threads.
You know what?
See, that one's done. So now I'm gonna come down here,
Which is a
and screw right there.
5, 6, 7 years like that makes their stocks go. What? The stockholders don't go. You know what? That's a once in a decade thing. Next quarter, we need that stock number to go up higher. So then they say.
All right, that's done.
We need to go up
So now I'm gonna screw this one all the way down. That's done. So now I'm gonna screw this one
And then eventually they run out of
all the way down.
to get rid of when just whoever replaced Jim Ryan and some AI.
That's done.
We still gotta increase our stock. So what?
Test them all.
Keep increasing the price.
They're all in.
That's your economy lesson.
I'm glad that you took so many business classes in school to know that if you have a good product, you can raise the
All
price
right.
forever, the end.
There we go.
No downside at all whatsoever. The other part,
So now we have the CPU in, we have the cooler in, we have the storage in, we got the RAM in. So now we want to install it inside of this case. It's going to be the Zalman S3. Going to install it inside of this case and go ahead and get it rocking. So just give me a second. All right, so this is the Zalman S3. So we're gonna go ahead and take the top off of it. Let me see. I'll take this door out. Should be thumb screws. You can use a flathead, but thumb screws are good enough. I'm not gonna take the plastic off first. Gotta do that at the end for cinematic effect.
for a short word from today's video sponsor. The Gigabyte G5 is the gaming laptop for those who want to play the latest games without spending an arm and a leg. Packing the latest RTX 40 series graphics, the Gigabyte G5 is ready for jaw-dropping ray tracing and frame rate boosting DLSS 3. Learn more about this 144Hz gaming beats today.
About to use the flathead for that one. They got the last one in.
I am curious as to why it spins. I'll be honest, you seem to be spinning it like a basketball on your finger. So what is the bottom? The bottom is kind of the same as
Alright.
you've got screws on the top. So
Make sure that's up there.
to get all of the panels off, you kind of need to unscrew it.
There we go.
Yeah, like for example, this one, you've got one screw for the top and then one screw for the bottom. See, what we're really needing
And you go ahead and you just undo that last part right there. And then you take it off and you see the inside.
this case should be worse because my favorite IPX case is probably either a fractal error,
Of course, they give you a book so you can like look at the different parts and everything.
and they all cost similar sorts of money. This is
Cool things about it with these PC cases, they give you all your screws and everything you're gonna need for it right here. So this is very important. And go ahead and put those to the side. And then if you look at it, that's all your operating cables. This is the stuff that hooks up for like your USB, your HD audio, and just all your different fans for your on, off, power, LED, things like that, reset button, and things like that. So let me see. Some of these they'll even have label for you.
or just put the case on, not sure. Then this is like a little IO book.
Yeah, they have it labeled.
Can you stop that?
Only thing is, I don't think this is labeled in English, which is fine because I know what they mean.
Yeah,
But yeah, see, USB 3.0. All right. Then you have the installed fans already. So I got one fan installed in the back already, and then I got two fans right here installed in the front. All right, so let's go ahead and get this situated. Oh yeah, before I do turn this over, to get to these fans, just in case you want to change them out, or even finding the power cables from, a lot of times you can just take this front part right here, and you can just pull on it, and it'll come off. Just like so. There you go. That's how you get to the front part of the fans. Then you also have these the fan cables right here that connect to the fan supply. So next we're gonna go ahead and take off this back section as well. All you have to do with that is just undo those screws. So you back it up right there. All right, so we're gonna undo these screws. Then you got a screw at the bottom, same type of screw. And thumb screw. And then you just slide this out. There you go. That's how you get to the back. Notice these are the fans for the back right here, and they're hooked up to what's called a Molex cable. So this will probably go directly into the power supply Molex connection for power. That's this right. That's the power supply right there, 600 watts. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this over and get to installing. All right, so when you lay the PC case down, this is what it's going to look like. And if you notice, you have these standoffs. These standoffs are for the different sizes. Your mini ATX, or your ITX, and then your ATX. So we're dealing with an ATX motherboard. So we're going to be using all of these over here. Only thing is, we need to use that, and that. So we're gonna go ahead and install some standoffs for that. Now, this is the bag of screws that came with the case. This is what I'm gonna get the standoff out of. So you basically just open this up, and you go through it until you find the standoffs. And those are the standoffs. Basically, you screw them in, and then you can screw in the back with other screws. So let's go ahead and install these. I'll get them started first with my hand. Alright, so now once I get them started, I'll find a screwdriver to go ahead and get them all the way in. So let me go get that. Alright, so I'm going to use this, basically a little socket set, a little socket head with a little socket driver. It is a 5mm socket. And basically just get in there. Go ahead and get it all the way down. Go ahead and do that with this one. Do the same with this one. And then get that last one. Alright, so now we can go ahead and drop the motherboard in. Alright, now I'm about to drop the motherboard in there, but I noticed before I drop it in there, there's a tab right there on like the IO shield. We want to take that blue tab off, and that just covers up or protects the IO shield during shipping. So take that off. And then we go ahead and we drop the motherboard in. And we make sure that we guide where my left thumb is into the hole where the IO goes. We pop that through. Kind of guide it with your left hand. You know what? This wasn't even an ATX. This was like a micro ATX. So I didn't even have to put those other IO shields in. That's fine. Still good for bracing it. Anyhow, just slide this through. Alright, so I was able to scoot that in. Basically the best way is just to lay it flat and just push it. And it's gonna feel like it's hanging up on this fan right here, but it's not. It's just the IO. It has a little bit of play in it. from this outside area right there. And that way it keeps it from popping out. So you just gotta push it until it clicks. That's the thing with a lot of this stuff. It may feel like it's not gonna go in, but that's just for safety reason. You push it till it clicks. Then after that, you line it